that technical glitch. However, we continue with Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show right here on Camnet TV, channel 106, Topstar, Facebook, YouTube, and can streaming as Camnet TV. I still have Mr. FABIAN MUTALE. He is a NDOLA-based democracy advocate.
Yes.
Fantastic. I was about to say advocacy. Okay. Now you were before that rude interruption, you were talking about information dissemination.
Yes.
Agenda setting. The media at large.
Yes. Look here. When you set an agenda as a government or as an institution, you need people to run with it.
Okay.
Beyond the people that you delegate, we have what we call the media, who we have always referred to as the fourth estate. These are the people that, for instance, you hold a meeting, they'll pick your stories, tell the people exactly what you said, and the agenda you're setting. However, if you have, for lack of a better term, a disgruntled or disenchanted media that you don't treat well, a media that feels they are not respected, they will side with those that respects them. That is why you see in certain sectors, you find that you hold even a press briefing or you even issue a statement to the media, they won't even write something good about you. They would rather bring stories that benefits them in the sense that you realize that these media houses, they've got editorial policies which they ride on. However, if for instance they come to your press briefing, like what I witnessed in some areas where those that are charged with responsibilities to take care of the media don't do the right thing. The media leave their offices. Some of those people that come to attend these press briefings or these rallies or meetings, they leave other important assignments. They have got people that work under them. Treat them with respect. But you find someone who's been delegated to even dish out the famous brarizo wants to treat them as if they're beggars. These are some of the little issues that UPND should work on. The media are crying. They may not cry out publicly, including you, Joe. You cannot pretend you know what I'm talking about. These are issues that media personnel are crying out from the armpits. So I implore the new media director, Comrade Max Mue, to change the narrative. It's not just for UPND as a party, even other political players. Can we treat the media personnel with respect when they come to attend some of these functions that we call them to? Because they've got the power. The pen is mightier than the sweat. They've got the power to drive an agenda. They've got the power to drive the narrative. We've seen more often than not politicians crying out, I was misquoted. It's not being misquoted. Media personnel will be as crude as they can be as long as they want to give information to the people. So it is you and me as public speakers, as politicians, to be careful as we speak, to manage our mouths, like the members will say, we should be careful with what we say. Let's think before we speak and not speak and then think.
Okay.
It will do us a great service.
Okay. Now, talking about the media, an opposition political party leader is saying they are going to respond to one of the UPND ministers who appeared on a named radio station, or is it a TV station, where it was a radio program, where they said a number of things, and today there's going to be a press briefing by a named opposition political party leader to respond to the allegations or whatever was said during that program.
This church is a kind of politics, is what we should avoid in Zambia.
Okay.
This back and forth by politicians, which they have now turned into a battle of wits in terms of exchange of words, is not doing any service to the Zambians. What I expect those that aspire to lead and those leading is to tell the Zambians, give the Zambians the solutions to the so many challenges that Zambians are going through economically and otherwise. Look, if an empty politician said something that does not sit well with whoever it is, unfortunately, for purposes of the media, we know which politician wants to respond to and what was said. But my advice is this. While we accept the fact that there's need to respond to each other, we should also have a reason why we are responding. It is not to play to the public gallery. It should be to correct the narrative and to ensure that that which was said is put in the right track. The radio station, I was privileged to listen to the discussion, and I'll speak my mind like always. What was said on the radio station, Mr. Smarter, is just a fair comment on a named politician, because you cannot, as a former leader, always dance to the gallery, trying to get public sympathy on a matter that is serious. The matter that was being discussed is the issue of the drugs. The withdrawal of the American embassy, the American government of support to the Minister of Health. And I don't think any sane and well-meaning politician would want to dance at what is happening, because what has happened hits not only the government of the day, it does not hit the ministers, the permanent secretaries, it hits the very people that we aspire to lead. So I expect the certain former leaders to behave in a manner that is befitting of them. And those that want to respond, what are they going to respond to? Because the named politician was talking about the challenges that they have with some former leaders whose preoccupation has been to only shoot at the government of the day and not provide solutions. So I think that was a fair comment, and it doesn't even need any sane person to hold a press briefing to rebut what was said.
Okay, let me try to find out from you. There has been a section of society that has consistently said or raised concern that, look, it's been long overdue. It's now 4 years of the UPND in government. Why then should UPND senior government officials, ministers in this case, continue to be talking about a party that left power in 2021? Why should they continue talking about a leader of a political party which is debating who its president is, and a leader who is not even in the country at the moment? You are responding to Facebook posts. You are responding to social media speculation. You are responding to gossip online. Surely, with what the country is going through right now, are we not supposed to focus our energies on important, pressing socio-economic issues? Mr. Mutale.
Indeed, Mr. Smarter. Look, that is why I'm saying the UPND government, including the party functionaries, I think they need to put their house in order. Look here, it is long overdue. People removed the Patriotic Front because they realized their iniquities. We don't need to continue reminding them. However, there is no harm in drawing a comparison if people cast aspersions. Quote me correctly there.
Okay.
There is no harm in making comparisons if people cast aspersions. However, it should not be a day in, day out song. I love the way the president has started carrying himself in the recent past, where whenever he takes a podium, he does not make any comparisons. What he does is he speaks that which is being done. He has now accepted, I think he's twining himself well with the reality now. Look, when you make promises, then you've not fulfilled certain promises. You talk about what you have done, and then instill confidence in people by explaining to them what you are doing to ensure that that which you have not yet fulfilled is fulfilled. You will give the people a program on how you have planned to fulfill that which you promised. And that is the narrative I've always been saying. That is the narrative that even ministers should carry, even permanent secretary. This is, and all party functionaries, they should toe the line of the presidency, because at the moment, the torchbearer is the president. So when the president gives them direction, everyone should run with it. We are not going to sit, listen, we are not going to sit and be told to say, look here, you are suffering because of the PF. Yes, even then we are suffering because of the PF. That is why we removed them. That is what the Zambians are saying. We are not going to sit and be told to say we have road shedding because of the PF. Yes, that is the reason we removed them. What the Zambians want is what the president has been doing, to say, look here, we realize we promised we were going to end load shedding. Down the line, it has not completely ended. However, we are doing A, B, C, D to mitigate the situation. The minister should run with it. The PSs should run with it. Right now, I expect members of parliament of the UPND, I expect the permanent secretaries and all those beneath the president to start telling the people to say, look here, this load shedding that you are seeing, the government has done ABCD in terms of renewable energies. The president or the government is doing ABCD in terms of alternative sources of lighting, in terms of solar plant building. This is what the Zambians want to hear. Right now, smarter people, the farmers are busy complaining about the prices the briefcase farmers are getting maize at. Someone in Mkush was telling me to say they're getting a 50 kg bag as little as 160 kwacha. I expect the Minister of Agriculture to come out quickly. I know they mentioned to say they will give a floor price next week, but they should be they should not be reacting to situations when people complain. These are the agendas I've always been saying. The UPND should be setting agendas. Before the people complain, they should quickly run with it. Right now, this is May. We're getting into June. I expect the ministry to have already planned for the next farming season. Those are issues that the Zambians need to be told. Right now, it's not rainy season. We had a very good rain season. I expect those charged with the responsibility in terms of agriculture to be saying, look here, the government has put in the irrigation schemes through the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility, which is currently going on for those that want to do irrigated crops before the rainy season. They should tap into it. Those are issues that I expect the party functionaries to be talking about, the government and ministers to be talking about, and not to always be referring to the PF whenever they are given an opportunity to address. Yes, there is no harm in drawing a comparison, but we are not going to continuously be drawing a comparison. Let's draw a comparison when someone says, under the PF, this was done, under the UPND, this is not being done. I implore the UPND leadership to stop responding to rhetoric by the opposition. Can they go on the ground, work, and then tell them to say, while you speak, we are working? And I think they will rejuvenate the interest in the party of the Zambians.
Okay. Now, dear viewers, you are urged to come through and give us your own views on the number that is scrolling on your TV screen. And also, you can engage us via our socials, that's Facebook, YouTube, and on the Kenstream app. Please do feel free to come through on 0973 852700. Now, Mr. Mutale, let's get into it. I know we are coming to, we are slowly winding up our program. However, let me ask you this particular question. Yesterday there was a press briefing held at the UPND Secretariat where it was revealed that they are working on a number of roads on the Copper Belt. Also, top on the agenda was the NDOLA Lusaka dual carriageway, which the media director, Mr. Max Moore, said the works have so far reached 25% completion. Now, let me find out from you, coming from NDOLA, because there was a question from one of our colleagues in the media who asked that can we as the media be taken to these roads on site so that we see which roads are being worked on and how far the NDOLA dual carriageway, whether it's at 25% or not.
It comes back to what I've been saying. It comes back to what I've been saying. When you have the flock and you leave it to the neighbors to feed them, they'll feed them that which that you don't want.
Okay.
Look here, while it is fact that the copper belt has not seen much of the road infrastructure being done, just like in the previous government. And I'm now referring to the previous government because even under the previous government, the road in NDOLA were in a deplorable state. Mr. Smarter, according to information that we had, they claimed they had planned to do the roads after 2021 elections. Unfortunately, they lost. Now, what has the UPND done? For those that may not have had an opportunity to go to the copper belt, the Kitwe itself, we saw some independent member of parliament that has been talking about the famous Chibruma road and other roads within Kitwe that were in a deplorable state. That have been done. We've seen the Chingola Chirabumbe road that has been done. So those that may be saying let us go to site, I think they don't live in Zambia. It is fact that most of the roads on the copper belt, including township roads, are in a deplorable state. Those that were tarred are like a war zone, but they have not been gone to such conditions now. They have been in that state, and the government has put a program to remedy that. For feeder roads or township roads, those that have never had a tarmac, I'm a witness, and I sit here to vouch for the leadership. Like in Fubu constituency, my area of interest where I come from, the roads, as we speak, have started being graded. Remember, like I said, it is up to each MP to ensure that they tap into the pronouncements of the president. The president publicly said they have allocated about 3.5 million to each constituency for grading of roads. But it is up to individual MPs.
Just kindly hold your thought. We do have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Bachelor, good to have you here. Your comment, contribution, or question?
A long time, good morning.
A long time, my brother, long time indeed.
You know, we are surviving.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry, Usuma will was a team and the fishing kind of Mavapagati.
Not to tell
and to if I want to miss it on the job when I were teaching at the Katika won't say. I think me, I'm one of those that have criticized our government to say, as much as you want to do the comparison, let's do the comparison on good number of things that we have done, not on a bad thing. When people complain, so what was the purpose of us removing the PF and replaced with the UPND? Right now, if you ask, you come to Garden, you ask, what time are you receiving power here? It's 23 hours, 24, 6 hours, yeah. So what is the use of giving people power? It's for us, maybe for the citizen to use it for something that maybe will try and put food on the table. The issue of electricity is a political issue. And whenever the people complain, the party structures, the party leadership, this is where they have to come in and say, let's see where the problem is with our colleagues. If I tell you for the past 2 weeks, I don't think in an Algonquiapo, Amalai, Panopanganda, for 12 hours in all the 2 weeks. Sometimes in 5 minutes, you are in. Then if people complain, then you say, even Mutia Amalai, area. Yes, we agree with the statement by the vice president to say, even if you remove the UPND will still remain poor. One of the reasons why we still remain poor is that sometimes we elect leaders who go first for themselves. Right?
Okay.
Others are saying, you know, we were suffered in opposition and it's time for us to eat. Time for you to eat, but your grassroots are not eating. So where you put yourself in that position.
Mr. Chileshe, when you say the grassroots are not eating, what do you mean?
You even heard the liberation from the Narepu Secretary General, who said even us, the alliance partners, we have been neglected. And this is where I'm drawn. If those that helped them hand in hand to form this government can come to that liberation, what about the structure? The structure is the same. Okay, and this is where I was driving my point, and I have been something to say. Why should those people be neglected? And you go and pick the people that were insulting the same party, like Amos Chanda, like Father Frank Wanya. You leave the people that were with you in that alliance. Is that making sense to those people that sacrificed to put you in the power? Let me give you this example. Okay. We have got in this party alliances that form the government with the UPND. And we have a nomination of youth chairperson. Have you ever heard, even you when you go to the interview, when you go to the place, have you heard them being mentioned or maybe given the platform to say we have got the spokesperson from Nalepo, please can you talk about this? No. So why should first the party or the president himself first set the audience with the opposition who are outside rather than those in the alliance so that they can work together? So let's first clean our house as well as we are taking dialogue with other opposition leaders, because your people that helped you are complaining.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's what coming through from Lusaka's Garden Township. But he has brought out a number of issues.
Yes, Mr. Manta, look, this is what I've been saying. There's no harm in drawing a comparison. For instance, I have nothing against someone who says, look here, under the PF government, there was an employment freeze where even in the teaching fraternity or medical, the health sector, there were just replacements. There's nothing wrong in a minister or any party functionary to say, look here, under the PF, we have employed over 19,000 health workers. Under the UPND, we have employed over 19,000 health workers compared, within the 3 years, compared to the number of people that were employed under PF. Under the UPND, we have employed over 45,000 teachers compared to the employment freeze. Like, those comparisons are correct and they mean well. But the comparisons of saying even under PF this bad thing was happening, those are the comparisons that are aching the Zambians. Mr. Chileshe, I agree with you. Further, Mr. Chileshe has alluded to the fact that the current UPND should embrace first the alliance partners, those that fought with them in the trenches prior to 2021, as opposed to these people that have come now. Look here, politics is a game of numbers, and every person that comes to join forces is welcome. However, you should not discard or ignore those that you ran the race with.
But that's remember,
biblically, I will refer to the workers in the vineyard. They came at different times, but they were given the same wage regardless of the time that you came. So that should be the measure. But everyone was embraced. The opposition are allegedly forging alliances. Of course, I call them talk show alliances because they are a group of jokers, like I've always said. While they claim they are coming together for the purposes of the Zambians, why can't the UPND itself also enhance the already existing alliances with the the political parties they were with during the opposition, so that they also do it for the sake of the Zambians? Look here, this issue of neglecting the ground, what is creating discontent amongst the people that are supporting the government. You realize that we are going to 2026 elections. The most dangerous person is the silent person that is aggrieved. And that is what I'm seeing in a lot of people that are supporting UPND. They may not come out for fear of being labeled to say, no, you're a turncoat. They're just keeping quiet. This is the time for the UPND to realize, the government of the day to realize, the political advisor to the president, because that is one of his responsibility, to read the mood of the political sphere and interpret it well. Mr. Levin Ngoma, sir, please, can you do your job as a political advisor to the president? You've heard what the Narepo president said. That is a wake-up call. He may have been speaking as a single voice, but there is more to that. Can you quickly call the alliance partners, empower them to also revive their structures, because you cannot have alliance partners who only speak as presidents or secretary generals without bringing to the table or to the party their members. And if their members are not seeing any rewards, when I talk about rewards, it's mere recognition, like Mr. Chirisha was saying, to say even at political rallies, even at the other political gatherings, you have never been seen to recognize the alliance partners. You speak as UPND, and that is creating discontent even amongst your alliance partners.
Okay. Now that Mr. Chirisha has mentioned that, and you have consolidated it, let me find out, are we seeing cracks within the internal structure of the UPND alliance?
For lack of a better term, you would call them cracks. In the sense that, for instance, we had the president for Formes, is it Formes? There's a political party called Formes. He left the alliance as he had his own reasons
for equality and change.
Yes, he left the alliance. That is worrying.
President Simuyemba,
he left the alliance. The alliance, that is worrying. We've seen people that have silently just gone to the doldrums without even saying anything. But when you meet them, you ask them what is happening. They say, for now, I would rather be in the background. It is a wake-up call. These are people that it needs to be rejuvenated politically, because the president should not be a lone voice. He cannot speak about everything that is happening in the country in terms of development. He needs people like you and me and many others that can highlight the good things that the government is doing, while also highlighting those things that are yet to be done. We don't want to have a government that we look at in the context of just being a bad government. We should first look at the good that they are doing and remind them of those that they are yet to do. Just like I've always been calling on the opposition. We cannot just have an opposition that just shoots at the negatives of the government without also appreciating the good that the government is doing. UPND, please realign yourselves. We are going to 2026 elections. This is the time to ensure that your party functionaries, all those that support your cause, all those that mean well. Remember, when I say support your cause, I'm not talking about what they call Bamishane Nabwari or the Rumbani Madoda. No, I'm talking about people that appreciate and realize that the trajectory the presidency or the government is taking us is correct, and for the right reasons, not because you have been oiled, to borrow the political weight. No. I'm talking about people that mean well, people that will stand up to President Hakainde Hichilema and say, Mr. President, on load shedding, we are yet to see the change. Mr. President, in terms of agriculture, we are yet to see the change. Mr. President, in terms of mining, we are yet to see the change. Those are the people I'm talking about, not people that will just be clapping even when they are not supposed to clap.
Okay. Mr. Mutale, there has been cause to have a political endeavor, political dialogue, the ruling party and the opposition political parties However, Mr. Chileshe here, our caller and viewer via our social media platform, which is Facebook, he says, how can you, he asks a question. My question is, why do we then want to dialogue with the opposition outside the alliance than those in the alliance with issues to do with neglecting them?
You cannot remove a speck in someone's eye when you have got a log in your own eye. Mr. Chileshe is on firm ground. Look, this issue of dialogue, you remember there was the hype at some point where the people said there's so much acrimony between the president and the former president, they needed to dialogue. Look here, the purpose of dialoguing should be clearly stated, not to benefit individuals, number one. Two, when there's a dispute, that is when people dialogue. Now, when people realize to say people should make peace amongst themselves, they need to dialogue, then a person that is supposed to go to the table of dialogue sets conditions. I think that is where personally I feel sometimes dialogue does not make sense. If people are going to the table with conditions, then they don't mean well. I think that is the reason why we've not seen the so-called dialogue between the ruling government and the opposition. There are people that want to set conditions for purposes of dialogue, and I don't think that is right. Now, coming to what Mr. Chileshe said, yes, the ruling party, the UPND, should dialogue first with the alliance partner. This area, now that we are going, we should have, you know, as a democracy advocate, I understand the context of party mobilization, because I was a deputy national chairperson mobilization, so I understand the issue of party mobilization. You go to NDC, there's a NDC faction which supports the government of the day. Remember when I mention NDC, and this I'll speak with confidence because I was NDC before I became a democracy advocate. NDC still has rooted membership on the Copper Belt, in Luapula province, in Mchinga province, in Northern province, in Eastern province, who are just waiting for direction. What has made NDC...
Can that pronouncement be backed by empirical evidence?
Yes!
Mr. Mutale?
Yes, Mr. Smarter. Remember, prior to 2021 elections, NDC was in an alliance with UPND before Mr. Chimbakamwiri went to PF. So I understand the structures and I speak to these people. NDC is still there, and the structures for a political term are still intact, but they have no direction because of the faction.
Okay. We missed that call. Please come through and call us back. Apologies for that.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question then.
So UPND can take advantage of the structures of the NDC who have been left disillusioned by the activities of the NDC. So those are issues that we are saying, can they first dialogue with their members, member parties within the alliance, and then they can embrace everyone else.
Okay, as we wind up, Mr. Mutale, under a minute or so, we have scandals in the health sector. We had the former ZAMSA Director General who appeared on a named radio program and spilled the beans. He opened a can of worms, and we haven't had any statement coming from the government or the Ministry of Health itself to rebut what he said.
There is no need to rebut anything. That's my take. There is no need to rebut anything. What the government needs to do now is to ensure that the rot that has been at the Ministry of Health comes to an end. The issue of theft, pilferage, and all manner of mischief at Ministry of Health has been endemic from the time of the Kashiwa Bulayas, the Kapokos. It seems the Ministry of Health needs a complete overhaul. what the ZAMSA leader, I mean former ZAMSA director said, whether it has got truth to it, then the government of the day just needs to act. Whoever was mentioned, whoever is suspected needs to face the wrath of the law. There's nothing like holding a press briefing to rebut or not to rebut. That is an eye-opener. For me, if I was president, I would treat that man as a whistleblower, bringing him close so that he can actually reveal more which information we can give to the law enforcers so that they act. There's nothing like holding a press briefing over that one.
Okay. Mr. MUTALE, we need to call it a day. We need to go. But let me thank you most sincerely for coming through to the Rise and Thrive breakfast show this particular morning. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is always mine, and thank you, Camnet TV.
Okay, you are welcome. And thank you, the viewers out there, for choosing us amongst many on a Thursday like this one. It is a cold day in Lusaka, not knowing how your day is wherever you are watching us from. Now, on behalf of my director upstairs, Mr. Lesa, and the entire production team, and on behalf of my guest here, Mr. FABIAN MUTALE, democracy expert from the Copper Belt, NDOLA base to be precise. I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. We'll see you when you see us. Good morning.